Hey, it's Marlene. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about this new LED Bi light that I got from Godox. It's the ML80 Bi, and Bi means it has warm and cool colors. So it goes from 2800 Kelvin to 6500 Kelvin, so warm to cool and anything in between. What's unique about this light compared to the other Godox LED light that I have, which is the 100 Bi, the ML100 Bi, is that this one comes with its own battery. And that's very handy. I love battery operated LED lights because I can use them on location. Now, you might be surprised, but I use LED lighting for photos and videos, and I use them all the time when I'm indoors shooting these YouTube videos for you. Another fun part about Godox lights is they always come with beautiful cases, and this one is no exception. Isn't this just the cutest? So Godox Marketing did send me this light, but this video is not sponsored. I'm allowed to use this light and review it however I like. They do not check my work before it goes public for you. But I do love working with the Godox Marketing team. I think they're awesome and they're treating me very well. And I have a lot more Godox gear coming up to review. So stay tuned for all of those videos as well. Okay, let's start this a little bit backwards. We're going to take this light apart. So the first thing I'm going to do is take off the lens. Now this is called the MLZ, Z meaning zoom, and it is a lens that zooms in and out slightly. Now if you saw my other video on the ML100 Bi light, you will notice that I had two different lenses on that light. So to protect the light when you're moving it around, when it's in the case, it's recommended that you put this cover on so that you don't damage the front element of this lens. And it has a little spring switch here that you just push and you turn. Let me just turn this around and it just clicks into place. It's a very well designed lighting kit. You can also attach the Godox Softbox or other accessories onto the light, just like any of their ML series lights. There's a whole range of accessories. Next, we're going to take off the battery. I'm going to take it off the light stand for that, because I don't want it falling off. So on the bottom of the battery, as it connects to the back of the light, there is a little switch, and it's snugly on there, which is a good thing because you don't want it falling off. There we go. I think I'm just not used to which way to push it. So, watch me struggle, guys. Okay, so here's the battery. I guess I shouldn't have done this backwards. Here's the battery, the back of the light, and here's the battery. It's a USB-C charge, and it has an indicator light which tells you how much left, and I have 4 green dots, so that's good. That means it's still fairly fully charged. The light itself is very light. It doesn't weigh much, let's put it that way. But the battery, of course, anything with a battery is going to be heavy. Now, one of the issues I have with batteries built in is that they run out. If this battery runs out after a couple of years of use, you can buy another one. Or you can attach another power supply to the light, which is very versatile. Some of the lights that I've used, they have the battery built in, and then when the battery dies or is no longer charging as good as it used to, the battery's kind of useless unless you plug it directly into your AC/DC current. I have some more information about the power supply to this light. You don't just have to use this battery because, let's face it, batteries die after time, and you could get a replacement battery, but there's also other options. And they are, you can use a DC power supply, so you can connect it right into the body of the light. You can use a USB-C power supply, so this is USB-C chargeable, but you could plug a USB-C right into the light itself, and there is a port for that. You can get an NPF adapter plate to go onto this, so you could use NPF batteries. And you can also get a V-mount battery plate to fit on the back of this. So there's many options for powering this light. So right now, I'm going to stick with the battery that it came with. Now, just so you know, I did put a little piece of tape here with an arrow so that I know how to put this thing, how to get it off, because it's so very tight fitting. Oh, this is like almost embarrassing. Welcome to old age, people. well, I'm not even super old, but I've got arthritis in my hands. So it's hard to get stuff like this. It's hard for me to detach. Next, we have the light itself, and it has a bunch of controls, which I will show you later when I do some close-ups. And lastly, it comes with the thing that goes on the light stand, just like with the ML100. It's a very well designed bracket for your light. This is what the case looks like inside, and each little section is for a part of the light. There we go. Everything's in its place. And that was, thankfully, just the light stand holder. So even though the ML80 Bi comes with this zoom reflector lens on front of the light, I don't feel that it is equivalent to the two lenses that come with the ML100 Bi. And these are ML36 and 15. So that has to do with the spread of the light. Okay, here's what the light looks like, and here is the widest zoom, and here is the smallest zoom. Now right now the light is only on 5% power, so you can imagine how bright it would be. All right, so that's 5%, so that's 10%. And I will also zoom it again as well. So now we're larger and smaller, and I will do it up to 20%. There we go, and now we're starting to get overexposed in the middle of my shot. But it definitely has more light than you might think it does for being such a quote-quote low-powered light. Now, for comparison's sake, I'm using the lenses from my other Godox ML light, and this is the L15. All right, this is the L15 at 5% power, and let me just zoom it up to, sorry, not zoom it up, add light, 10% and 20%. All right, so I'm going to take this off and put on the L36, and it is much wider. Now I'm still at 20% power, so I'm going to lower the power to 10% and then to 5%. So the zoom, and this is the wide end of the zoom. Okay, my exposure is going to be a bit wacky with this one because I did shut off one of my main lights there. But I want to show you another accessory, and this is the softbox, and it's the 50 centimeter softbox, so it is about 18 inches, and I did talk about that in my review of the ML100 Bi. So what you got to do first is remove the lens. Turn this around. And you attach, there's a ring on here that attaches right in there, and excuse me, I'm just going to put my back to you for a second because I need to get in here. Okay, so there's the softbox, and you know it's a little big. Now I also have the grid on the front of the softbox and the diffusion. So I talked about the softbox in the last video I made, but this is, now I'm going to turn it on. Okay, 5%. There you go, 5%. Let's see if I can light up this side of me. And I'm just doing this on the fly, guys. Yeah, a little hot maybe. It's a little close to me, but you get the picture. So there is my light, and that's 5% power. And I'm only shooting this video at ISO 400, f2.8. Let me turn off my second light here. Okay, so there's one strong side light. I'll put it more in the front. Excuse me for one sec. Now it's like very close to me, and it's like right at eye level. I should actually have it probably a bit higher, but anyway, that is 5% power on this light. It's crazy. So I'm not sure if I dialed in the color temperature the same. I usually use about 5400 or exactly 5400 Kelvin on my set when I'm shooting my YouTube videos. I just feel like it works well, and it works with my background light as well. Okay, let me put this a little bit in front of me and a little bit higher, and I'll tilt it down. Okay, so I moved it 45 degrees from me, went higher and tilted it down. Now I'm just going to look at the light. Okay, so that's like one light plus my little background pal here. If you want, I will turn it off. So there you have one light against just a blank wall. Now if I get myself away from the wall a bit, you won't see as much of a shadow. Sorry, I'm looking at my monitor. I love LED lights because you see what you get right away. In the past, I really struggled with strobe and getting good lighting with strobe in different situations. I feel like I can take LED lights out anywhere, and especially with these battery-operated ones, I can take them on location without tripping over wires and cords. So 5% power is all I have this light on, and it's shooting through a softbox. Now granted, it is an arm's length away from me. I'm touching it right now. But you know the rule, if you want soft light, you put your lights really close. I mean, that's the trick most people don't realize, is that often with photo shoots and portraits, the lights are so close, and you know what they do? They retouch them out after the fact. Yes, there you go. You never knew that, did you? So let's just for fun put this light closer. Okay, now if I look at the light, it's too bad I wear glasses. Now I'm hot, but like check it out. Like check it out. You can have so much fun with these, especially with portraits. Okay, let's have a look at the controls of the light. So this is the on-off switch, mode dial, set, and then we have a wheel here. So let's turn it on. So it's a hold and press, and it has two modes, and I'm just going to roll this wheel, and when you roll it, it brings up the controls. So right now you can see that it is 5% and the color temperature is 5400 K. So whatever setting you want to change, you've got to make sure there's a box around it. So right now the color temperature is boxed, so you push the set button and it turns yellow, and then you roll it to change the color temperature. I'm just going to leave it at 5400 K. Set again and roll it a little bit, so one click over, and now you can see here that it says 5%. So I hit set, and now this box turns yellow, and I can increase or decrease the power on the bulb. Okay, so that's one thing to do. If you go into the mode, if you go push the M button again, you can see that it has Bluetooth, anti-false touch, which I'll explain in a second, display, fan, language, and factory reset, and fixture info. So let's start at the bottom. So fixture info is your firmware. So it's version 1.01 right now. Okay, so let's hit that again, and we go back up to factory reset. And of course, we do not want to do that. So let's get out of there. Language, pick your language. Fan, so once you get onto that menu, you push set, and you can change the fan to off, auto, medium, and high. I'm just leaving it on auto for now. And display has to do with, how bright this display is. So I can change, so hit the set button and change it, and you can see that it will go up to 100%. So I'm just going to leave it at 60, and I roll up again. Oh, hit the M. Anti-false touch. Now there is an interesting one. Anti-false touch is this. When you turn on the light, I don't know if you noticed, but it had a symbol of a scroll wheel. And what that does is it acts like a safety method, so that if someone comes along and puts the power on, they're not going to be able to operate the light right away. The light won't go on right away. If you turn anti-false touch off, Up we go and hit set, and now you can see there's a little yellow button by off. So I'll turn it off so you can see what happens. So right now it's off. When I turn it on, so press and hold, it jumps right into the brightness and the color temperature menu. I'll show you the other way. So let's go into here, anti-false touch. We're going to turn it on. Whoops. On. So let's just check. Yes, the yellow dot is on. So let's power it off. And when I power it on this time, so press and hold, I don't know if you can see that, hopefully you can. There's a symbol here with the wheel, so that basically means turn the wheel, push the set button, and you will get into the menu. I don't even think you have to push the set button. So that basically means if someone comes along and messes with your lights, they have to know how to get into the menus before it turns on. And this is good if you're working on a set and maybe you have talent and they're staring at the light. You don't want them to get blinded. I would say that is a good safety feature for that. Okay, let's go back here and Bluetooth on or off. Right now I don't have Bluetooth on, I'm just using it off. About the Bluetooth, there is an app for Godox that controls this light as well as the ML100 Bi that I have. As far as the Bluetooth app goes, I don't tend to use it because I find that it's just quicker just to manually control the lights. But your mileage may vary. If you want to use the Bluetooth app, you can download the app. There's a QR code within the instructions, and then you would turn Bluetooth on and connect it to your mobile device, your tablet or your phone, and run the lights that way. But right now I'm keeping it off. So next we go into mode. When you press mode, you get into this menu that has all sorts of cloudy, lightning, broken bulb, all these effects. And if you want effects, like if you're, let's say you're telling a drama and there's somebody's watching TV, or maybe there's paparazzi at an event. So if you push set, what's going to happen is, I don't know if you can see that, but there is flash going on. Let me just see if I can put my hand in there. There you go. So you can see that it's acting like a camera flash. Let's get back into there because I do not want to use that. Oops, there we go. Okay, so push the mode twice to stop those effects. But if you want to go in and try some other ones, I guess candle. Let's see if candle lowers the color temperature. And I guess it would be like a flickering candle. So let's hit set, and sure enough, I don't know if you can see that. I'll move the light back a little bit. It's too bright, but there's like a warm light coming out of here. Warm light coming out of here. Geez, I only have it at 5%. And actually, while I'm in here, because it's still a yellow square around that, I can lower the power. But yeah, it's still kind of bright. Still kind of bright. Back into mode, and that should, there, cancels it. So right now, the ML80 Bi is on this side. An accessory that I would recommend is the GODOX ML-GB ring, and what it is, if you have Bowens softboxes, Bowens mount, which is a standard, you should get this adapter because the GODOX ML series lighting are smaller in diameter than the Bowens. So if you have a Bowens softbox or any other Bowens accessories, snoots and things like that, you need one of these. Spend the money and get one because it makes your system so versatile. And I just love all the accessories they have, and one of these days I might get some more accessories to play with because I love playing with lights. Now, you need to know that in the past I've been really afraid of lighting and lights, and I have to say with the advent of these lovely LEDs, I just find what you see is what you get, and I find it much easier to be creative and get what I want. With flash, I was just blasting everything and everything was flat, and I just find that LED works for me for photos and videos. Now, of course, for high-speed events, skateboarding and other sports where you're using light, a flash is definitely necessary. So that's all the technical stuff I have for you today. The creative part is up to you. So go out there and get creative. no matter what camera gear or lighting gear you're using. Just practice every single day if you can. I'll put links to these products in the video description below. If you did miss my videos on the other LED lights I will put the links right over here. So have a look at those if you haven't seen them already. See you soon.